Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend Talent on the Air, brought to you by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance and by the Halpin Music Company. We got the Lonesome Blues tonight down at the night market from 7 until 10, and I usually announce the sea shanty sing-along first. It's still happening, and it's underway tonight until 9 o'clock. Also going on, the open mic with Scotty the Honey, Space Wolf Miller. Is that going to happen at the conservatory? It does on Thursday night sometime from time to time. So Lunatics are going to be at Fast Eddie's Music in the Park with Steve Schiniger. And we got Money Shot at Grafton Music in the Park from 7 to 9. Drew Lance at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville. Whiskey River out at Wigglers and Holiday Shores. Got Scott Marlin at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Ryan Holting at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen and Carbon. We got the open mic. Kevin Gruen down there, our guest from last week, with Logan Barnhill hosting at the El Gato in Granite City. RX Blues at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey, and the band Feel, which we like to follow, in Ohio tonight. And I will say to our guest tonight, Olive, Ohio. Yeah, you know what that means?
The state?
Well, it actually means good morning in Japanese.
Yeah. I think I've heard.
I have not.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Mm-hmm.
And they shorten it to Ohio.
Ohio.
The only Japanese I know is at the beginning of a meal, like kind of a, bon appetit type of thing. Itadakamasu.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the only thing I can really think of off the cuff.
You know about Ohio?
Ohio? Like Crosby,
Ohio.
Stills, and
like
Nash?
Jason Molina? Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Musician to check out.
Okay.
From Ohio.
From Ohio.
Olive, named after the street in St. Louis.
Indeed.
Who is Olive? You should know by now. You guys have grown over the years.
I bet.
We're a little bit older.
Yeah.
Not wiser.
No.
We got the Owen Weber.
Right here. Hello.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Jake Weber.
Right. My father.
Or the Jake Gordon.
Right.
That one's me.
That is you.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Jared Gordon.
Yeah. No. Generational.
Yeah. It's kind of like a family band, but not really.
Yeah.
Although, we are actually
in a way.
distantly related now through like a recent kind of marriage almost.
Yeah. My first cousin married a distant-ish cousin of yours.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have an infant child together.
So now we're kind of related.
Simon. So now there's a
There is a family band thing. I changed it.
family
Never
band
mind.
connection at this point
Wow.
for half of us.
And that young one, the new one,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you guys will make sure that learns an instrument.
Yeah, we're going to
We'll
throw
do
him
our
on
best.
stage as soon as we can.
Okay.
So, as soon as he can walk,
Right.
we'll put a tambourine and a sandwich on.
Good selling point.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody watches those videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
I suppose.
That's why I quit playing music. Too many 5-year-olds just shredding.
Showboating. Yeah.
Yeah. They are
we could
they're
get 'em.
kind of cocky, too, at 5.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, check me out.
They act like they got the whole world ahead of them or something.
Yeah. You think they really know how much they're shredding? I obviously know. You guys know.
Probably not.
They're just
They're probably like, just check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember anything from when I was 5.
Mm-mm. No.
So let's find out, Owen. When did you start playing music?
I think more routinely I started playing music around like middle school is when I joined the band or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stayed through it into high school, and I think like around just before the pandemic hit, I started to pick up guitar again, and that's when I started writing songs for like the first time, and eventually led to that first Olive release that we had out, the Untitled EP in 2021.
Great idea for a name.
Right. Well, I was just like, I don't know where these songs are going to go. I'm just going to do them and just throw it out there for fun.
So, first instrument?
Probably drums, actually.
Nice.
When I was like real little, my parents bought me 2 toms and a kick drum to beat down for a while.
You know why, right? They needed a drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to train me that early. Just like we're trying to train...
Simon,
we're
right?
trying to train Simon.
Follow him on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Gordon,
Yeah.
how about you?
First instrument would have been cello, which I picked up when I was about 9. I guess that's 4th grade. I had an older stepbrother who picked up the cello, and it seemed interesting to me. My dad plays bass, so music was always kind of around. But yeah, that from the jump. And then about middle school, I started to play bass guitar, a little bit of guitar, mandolin, where I could figure that out too. Like noodling on stuff.
You ever break the cello back out?
I don't own one because they are obscenely expensive. They are kind of entry point 2,500 or so, which is a lot to invest, from like age 18. So I don't own one yet. Maybe if Olive really pays out. Then
Yeah,
I'll
I was
buy a
going to
cello.
say, when we start raking in the big bucks, that's when Jake's going to get big, long
real
cello solos during the sets.
So I bet you could rent one from Halpin Music, though.
I imagine. I will say all through my school career, I rented them through Halpin, and that was always a solid option. Let me have one at home to practice on, not just rely on what was at the school. So,
Good plug.
yeah.
Truthful plug.
I
too.
try.
That's very truthful.
Organic thing.
But yeah, we know Halpin Music rents to all the kids around here,
Oh, for sure.
which is a great way to start out because, you might start out on cello and think, I really would be cooler if I was playing bass guitar.
Cello, you got a bass.
Yeah.
Right.
Just turn it this way.
Chicks dig bass players. Is that
that's-
true or not?
Nope.
Okay.
I feel
Well,
like that's-
here's the thing. I don't think they realize that they are digging the bass player because that's what's making their booty bump,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The attention, I feel like if you're going to rank the 4 guys in the band by attention, somehow bassist managed to be the bottom rung on that ladder,
Yeah.
and usually happily.
But it's the feel. It's
Yeah.
it's what they're feeling.
vibe.
It's what's making them move.
I'd say so.
It's like the secret weapon,
Yeah.
right?
It's like the hot sauce on your scrambled eggs.
So all the attention is obviously on Owen.
Yeah.
Or
because-
Ian. I mean,
Yeah.
he is the drummer.
He is a
I do
player.
hear drummers tend to attract.
They definitely garner female attention. I was against spoken for, but I feel like if there's a stereotype, it's
Yeah.
drummers have pulled ahead.
Which I guess I'd be telling on myself. Because
Yeah, as a
drums
drummer.
are actually my
Right.
first
Your main
instrument.
Exactly.
So maybe you do have something to that.
I think so. I've been studying rock for a long time. I started out playing in the rocks.
Yeah, as we all do.
Yeah. And eventually I set the Hot Wheels down and started rocking.
Right.
And you know what to do if the house is rocking. Okay, that was a terrible joke. We missed Pigpen for the laughter.
Where's he at?
So he is on the road, and it's a big thing they do up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's like a huge festival, like 80 stages.
Wow.
Oh, was it the Mile of Music? Is that the one?
I think
Appleton?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
I may be slightly exaggerating by saying 80 stages, but it's a huge number of stages. Well over 20.
No, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I've been to Wisconsin a few times, but not Appleton.
And so they're up there running sound.
Yeah.
They
got
did
you.
that last year, and like PBS showed up.
Wow.
And
cool.
used their sound stage too, out of all
Wow.
the stages.
That's
to choose
awesome.
from.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's because Alex Honky's a bass player,
Yeah. What do you know?
and he attracts all the attention.
Good old Al Honky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Circle back around.
Right? No,
Well, maybe.
he's my uncle.
He is your
Really?
uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's
I think I should have known this
Yeah.
already.
I think your aunt just had a birthday.
yeah, she did.
Right.
Happy birthday, John.
That's right. Enjoy Wisconsin. Think they're going to eat some cheese?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Why are we talking to you guys tonight? There has to be something coming up that's very, very important to the Alton area.
Rock the Hops. It can be Rock the Hops.
Rock the
Yeah,
Hops.
Sure.
That's it. August 9th.
all day.
all day long.
Yeah. You guys are, where are you guys playing? I got the list over here. Do you remember though?
I do remember.
Okay.
We're playing at Shea, Maryland
Okay.
at Rock the Hops.
Yes.
We're hitting it, I think, 6 o'clock to 6:45, along with some other killer bands.
I would say the first band playing at Shea, Maryland is pretty killer because they put the whole thing together.
Right, Hope and Therapy.
Hope and Therapy.
That's right. 2:30.
Yeah, no, they're great.
We got St. Clair at 3:30.
Our
Also
buddies.
great. Yeah, we're good friends with St. Clair.
Okay. I tried to find some information on them, but come up short. St. Clair's one of those names when you Google it's like.
Right. Yeah. No, what do you know?
Probably got to check their Instagram. But actually, they're like, I think they're releasing a new album tomorrow.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Very cool.
maybe you'll find them on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been kicked off Instagram.
Wow.
It happens.
2-step verification when all that started. I was lost. I couldn't remember my
Got hung up on the first
password,
step.
and it's like now we got to redo all this stuff, and oh man. Well, we're safe. I just can't get on Instagram. So, anyways, the next one on the list for Shea, Maryland's at Rock the Hop, Joel.
Yeah, Joel.
Is it Joel or Joel?
It's Joel.
Okay, just making sure.
No, he's also solid. We played a show with him over at Heavy Anchor.
Yeah.
Right? A while back.
Sometime last year, I think.
What can we expect from Joel?
Cryptids.
He's a really great songwriter and focuses a lot on cryptids and like the classic horror story vibe.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's like rock and roll.
Folksy rock and roll. It got like a murder ballad vibe. If the murderer wasn't a murderer, it was like Mothman. Oh, wow,
Okay.
it's fun. Connected.
That was awesome.
That was wild.
Well, just I Am the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Check out that track by Joel.
Great track.
Okay. I thought for sure you were coming clean or something there.
Well,
No,
just wait till the end of the
out there.
interview.
Your neck's kind of short for that, but maybe, I don't know. You know, I didn't ask what St. Clair sounds like, though.
Yeah, St. Clair, I don't know, they're... I'd say somewhere on the spectrum of grungy to punky.
Yeah. In my mind, I hope they're cool with this, but I think Modest Mouse when I hear them. So, and that kind of like earlier garage kind of like indie rock
Definitely.
sound.
That garagier...
At least that's what I've caught
sound.
live.
Totally. Not so much float on, but you know, the deeper cuts, some of the more shouty, weird tracks.
Yeah.
I like weird.
Yeah, right?
it's
Yeah,
good.
I'd say garagey and weird. They're great guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Solid songwriters.
So we're rolling on this lineup. I mean, that's...
Yeah, no,
That's
I
stout
say
so
Shea Maryland's
far,
the place to be. I say not remembering who's playing where other than Shea Maryland.
Well, you know, it'd be hard to bounce around.
Yeah, well, they got, I think, shuttles. Is that
They
right?
do got shuttles.
Oh,
Which is
I didn't know
convenient,
that.
right?
Which you
For
have
the
to
general
have a
public.
ticket for them.
Yes.
So if you're a non-ticketer,
This is
But
true.
if you do have a ticket, you get to drink and then take
right.
the shuttle around.
That's right.
So,
Exactly.
so
You
we
don't have
got
to
all
worry
that
about
clear.
it.
Right.
I'm glad we cleared that up
Totally.
because I'm a non-drinker,
Yeah.
but I love the music.
Sure.
So I got to sprint.
Right, yeah.
You know what
hey,
I mean?
get your steps in, I guess.
Well, you know, sometimes I can't even do that. But there is a band after you guys.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the band after you guys? Rock Crown?
Yes.
We are familiar
Yes, we
with
are.
them.
For sure.
I know
Actually,
Jacob
yeah.
Pullen.
Yeah. No, I went to high school with Jacob Pullen.
Who else is in
JP.
that band that I might know? Anybody?
Nevin McDuffie.
Nevin McDuffie,
Yeah.
the Drew from Shareholder, their
Yep.
drummer,
Okay.
and then oh my
Yeah, because
god,
your guys'
there's
drummer,
another Owen in
your
that band.
guys'
Yeah,
drummer
there's another Owen in
sings
that
for Shareholder.
Yeah,
Yes,
So
yes,
he
he
does
does.
playing drums.
Ian, he's in Shareholder as well.
I believe it's Owen Roberts and Tyler Welsh.
There
Okay.
you
are the
go.
other few,
Nice.
and Nevin actually was in a little high school band with us.
Two of
That we
us.
tried to call Comfort Couch for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, I played that at Owen's Garage for a little bit. Played at the Jerseyville, not talent show, but was it?
Oh yeah, the Jersey High. It's basically the talent
Yeah,
show,
a variety
show.
variety
yeah, yeah.
show. Yeah.
Really struck a chord
Dr.
with the
Dog
teenagers.
Did you guys go to the same school?
No.
No.
Nope.
He's a couple of years older, and
Yeah.
he went to Alton High, and I went to Jerseyville.
Right, that's why you didn't jam as kids. We covered that in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not the same high school?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
But, you know.
You threw me there for a minute.
I made him come over for those performances.
Yeah, no, driving out to the Sticks just to you know, hang out in the garage and play some fun covers. But it was a blast,
Right.
for sure.
Right. Hey, do me a favor. Turn your mic just a little bit that way. When you look over
Perfect.
at that sexy boy right there.
Yeah, right.
You're all
Gotta lean this way.
Now you're awesome.
That makes sense.
Appreciate that.
Of course.
Okay, so we covered the lineup at Shea Maryland's for Rock the Hops, and you guys did a great job. If I would have asked Pigpen about any of these bands, he wouldn't have had any answer.
Really?
He would have probably went off and talked about Sasquatch, possibly, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that might fit in.
No, I feel like there's guaranteed to be a Sasquatch song by Joel.
St. Clair,
That's true.
Loch Ness? Was that the
No,
Loch
that's
Ness?
Joel.
Joel.
Joel's gonna be your Loch Ness fella.
I knew we were cryptid in there somewhere.
He's actually running sound there, too, at Shea Maryland that
Makes sense.
night.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he gets to set it for a couple of bands,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then he'll have it all dialed in for him and you guys right after.
Yeah.
And that's sweet.
Perfect.
First time for Rock the Hops for you guys?
Second.
Yeah, our
Second
second.
Yeah,
time.
last year we were down at Flock.
That's right. That's right. And this year, I got a question to ask you guys because you did music in the park and you were scheduled to do the night market
Yeah.
on the same day, so we were very confused.
Yeah.
So was I when I checked my calendar and realized I had put down the wrong date for one or the other event.
Right?
I tried to get it cleared up, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So,
That would be a sprint trying
Yeah,
to play 'em.
right. Well, I believe they started at the same time,
They did.
and I'm supposed to
Yeah.
play drums for my dad's band that night
Yeah.
at Music in the Park. So I was like, I can't. I can't. I don't know.
But
You
didn't
got
Olive
pushed.
end up playing it in Grafton?
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
I had the date for the night market a whole month off, I think. I would apologize to everybody who wanted to see that.
Right.
But we
It
tried to get it
happens.
cleared up, but we just couldn't switch dates, or it was already in stone, so we had to drop it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And honestly, Ian's in a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you guys probably struggle sometimes trying to figure out how to book a gig if he's playing in a different band or you're playing in a different band.
I
Yeah.
think we've only run into it a few times, but
Yeah. Not a ton.
it's not too terrible yet.
Unless half long.
I guess
Couple years.
Yeah.
I guess all the bands included in this conversation without naming them all. Kind of similar type gigs. Like,
Yeah. here and there,
original
for sure.
based, probably music in the parks and, those kind of things.
Sure.
Right. So, you ever going to book a night like at the conservatory where Ian has to play in every band that he's in?
That'd be a blast. I mean, we've come close. Have we done that before? Have we had
We definitely
shareholder?
split a bill before.
Yeah.
I think that was the after party for the MRF festival
That's
last
right.
year.
We did do that.
It was like Olive, then Shareholder, and like
Right.
Lofties.
Yeah.
No, but we've always floated the idea of trying to get the bands that we all share members with, like
Right.
all on the road together,
Oh, yeah.
and see how that would
Make it
run.
easy.
Just because we all share members.
Easy-ish.
So, let me see here. Let me try to remember. Okay, Owen, you do Olive and you do solo. Right?
Like-
Acoustic every once in a
Oh
while.
yeah. But I still go under Olive for most of that.
And then you do Lonesome Drifters.
Sure.
Right? How about you, Jacob?
As far as stuff I'm committed to, it's just Olive, actually. I'm not,
Man, you are just
He's
down
riding,
for
riding.
Olive.
no, right? I'm the ride or
I'm
die.
digging that.
Yeah.
You never have to fill in for your dad or something?
No, the Lonesome Drifters,
That'd be fun.
that would be fun. That'd be something to see, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you'd know the songs? Like if emergency happened, he stubbed his toe.
I think you play through a stub toe, but I also think
I would hope so. That's
if
what
I
I'm
had
saying.
maybe like a day or two to prep, I could make that happen.
I'm
A
talking
few
like-
hours depend.
I mean, I
it
don't
gets a little
know if I
rocky.
could do that for my dad. If he just like couldn't sing the gig and I had to remember all those songs,
Yeah, it's a lot
I
of
don't know
songs.
if I could do it.
Yeah,
I bet you could cover enough, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could probably get through at least a set.
The set list would change.
Yeah,
But,
just
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
trim it up.
Interesting.
For sure.
So there you go. We are talking to Olive tonight. They were playing at Rock the Hops. That's August 9th right here in downtown Alton. And there's a shuttle service that bounces between venues. We were talking about that a little bit. So let's go through some of the venues here real quick.
Yeah.
For the folks that are like, huh? Rock the Hops? What's that? How could you do that? It's like 10 years now, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know. And heck, we've been talking about it on this show since they announced they needed bands, which I think was in the spring.
Yeah.
You're not double
I
booked.
can check my calendar.
Okay. Anyways, they're going to be at, as we mentioned, Shea, Maryland, where you guys are playing at 6. And they're also going to be at Bossa Nova. And that's going to start with Darian Poe at 2:15, Jason Fishburne at 3:30. Not familiar, are you guys?
Sounds
Jason
familiar.
Fishburne.
No. And then we're going to get into the old school Alton sound at that point.
Okay.
Doug Rafferty of Judge Nothing,
Okay, yeah.
right, 4 o'clock. Todd Keith of
Love
Autumn
Todd
Clock,
Keith. Oh,
yes,
Nice. I saw that.
5:40. And
Fantastic.
and then the Bishops,
Okay.
yeah, 7 p.m.
Yeah, sounds like a good one.
That's, yeah, those guys
There you
all
go.
played together quite a bit back in the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
90s.
There we go. See if I'm running down and catching a couple
Yeah,
songs of
yeah.
Todd and see if I can catch a replacements cover.
Well, let's see. If you're going to catch Todd, he's at 5:40, so
Yeah, well,
you're going to be
that's going to be
sprinting
a little
back
bit
to...
too tight, maybe. But
Maybe I'll ask Jared if he wants to sit in.
yeah, right.
So you guys played last year. Do you remember what time you played last year at the Flock?
I think we were the last
Yeah,
Okay.
band.
yeah, we closed out at Flock. I think Rock Crown was a little bit before us. That.
Yeah, and then Lofty's Comet before us, or before them.
Everything pretty much on time, and you guys played about when you were supposed to and everything?
Yeah.
See, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's not easy to do.
Impressive for sure.
It was good.
Smooth.
And that's how you keep it going this long.
Yeah.
Shout out to Drew and Hope.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We're doing
Good
a great
people.
job. How about the conservatory? Have you heard what's going down there for Rock the Hops?
I'm not sure.
Not off the cuff. Love the conservatory though.
Well, how about Dracula? Jones?
Dracula
Johnson?
Nice.
Yeah. No.
There's your opener, 3:15.
Yeah.
And this next band I'm about to announce holds the world record. They do.
Yeah.
Guinness Book of World Record. I've seen it. I believe there's even a video on cottonmouth.org of this action where they hurdled Robert Wadlow.
Wow. Impressive.
It is
That's cool.
impressive. And if you're going to do that, you need to name your band Super Fun Yeah
Rocket ship.
That's right. Have you seen them guys?
I have.
They're
yeah.
a blast.
They are a fun time for sure.
Yeah. I'd say a mix of comedy and music.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely
Very entertaining.
very entertaining across the board.
Once in a lifetime experience.
Totally.
You will not forget.
Yeah.
How about Soft Crisis?
Of course.
Does that one ring a bell?
A faint one, but I can't quite place it.
Okay. Well, they're going to be the 5:15 band, and that they're going to be followed by Wreck Riddles. Familiar with that? That's hip
Oh, I
hop.
think that one's new.
That's
to me.
hip-hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So there's a little
Conservatory always
twist,
has some
yeah.
cool hip hop going on
So
down
there
there.
you go. That's good. I like the variety here.
Oh yeah,
Right?
for sure.
And then wrapping things up, band that's been around. I think they played Rock the Hops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Seashine. 7:15.
Seashine. Okay.
So there's your conservatory lineup for Rock the Hops.
Very cool.
Sweet.
That would be a pretty good jog for you guys.
Yeah.
Check out
yeah.
any of
No,
those.
if we're hoofing it,
Yeah.
not happening.
Definitely going to be a jog for me, but you guys will have tickets. I guess, do you get free passes on the shuttle because you're playing the show?
No, we get some discounted passes.
Yeah, we get a little discount.
which is nice for sure. Much appreciated.
Any
Indeed.
favorite hop that you are planning to partake in that you've noticed and thought,
I actually haven't drank yet at the Rock the Hops. This will
You're
be
not
my
old
first
enough,
year.
are you?
I am now.
you
Yeah,
are finally,
yeah,
yeah. Last year I think didn't you just turn 21 not too long ago?
No, I'm 25
Okay.
now.
Okay, because
So-
we were talking about that on one of the shows you were on. Maybe it was the one before
Yeah,
last year, but
half of our band for a good chunk of time was not of legal drinking age, but we've all caught up now.
that's
so
good.
That's big.
That's good.
Yeah.
Owen, you're finally there, huh?
Yeah, me and Cole last fall, 21.
Now there's only one age left that you have to reach.
When your insurance drops.
25.
Last one. I guess that would count.
Sure.
But I'm talking about, you're looking forward to it. And that is retirement.
Oh, yeah.
No. Man, I didn't consider that on the table.
Yeah.
We'll make it.
Well, one of these days.
See, I'm zeroing in on that
There
one.
you go. Home stretch.
Nice.
Because have you noticed work sucks?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yeah, no, it hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah, I really noticed that. Well, let's move on to the block
Yeah.
where you guys played last year.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah. Kind of a newer venue for Rock the Hops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been 2 or 3 years now, I guess.
Sure.
And we know one thing. They got food trucks there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No bands named after food trucks that I know of, though. But the first band I seen had Road to Point Fest, and they won their round.
Is it Halcyon?
That's right.
Nice.
Guys
Yeah.
out of Mascuda.
Yeah. Young.
Yeah.
They're probably under 21.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 2 females in the band, if I remember correctly.
I was able to talk to some of them a couple of years ago at SIUE. They came in because they had some buddies up there. Cool dudes.
Still out at SIUE?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Senior year coming up.
Check you out.
Big man on campus.
You're going to have a degree.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a degree in jazz performance.
Mm-hmm.
Make the big bucks with that.
Why do we bring that up? Because you can hear a little jazz and Olive's music.
Oh, here and there.
I suppose so.
Touch and go, you know.
Just wait till we put a straight ahead album out.
So, as a jazz major, do you have to have a certain instrument that your main instrument for that?
Yeah.
Is that guitar?
It's drum set for
Drum.
me.
Okay, yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's just what I had started on, my main instrument,
Right.
when I joined band initially.
I didn't know if you'd switch it up so, increase your guitar.
I would like to get some lessons before I dip out of the school. But we'll see how that goes.
You haven't gotten a lesson yet?
No, I mean like guitar lessons.
No,
Halpin Music offers guitar.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice plug.
There you go.
And Matt Van Voorhis offers insurance.
Oh.
So I don't know if you can get insurance on your guitar lessons, but you may need them.
If you didn't like them,
Yeah.
here's your money back.
Didn't work out, right? So anyways, we're talking about Block, Allison, right? How about the Down Bads? You seen those guys?
Down Bads. I've not seen those
heard of
guys.
them.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good band.
Very cool.
Check them out, 315. Then Neighboring Villages, I should have said. Neighboring Villages,
I don't know if I've
430.
heard of those guys.
Ish Ensemble.
Ish Ensemble.
That's right.
Very cool.
530. And then Bellevue.
Bellevue I have heard of, yeah.
Okay. What do you got for us, Jake, on Bellevue?
Now, of is carrying a lot of weight in this sentence. I can't say I've heard, but I've heard of.
Okay.
Seen him on a lot of posters around town, see him at a few different
these
shows.
announcements that
Right? No.
Open Therapy posted.
There you go.
But I feel like I've heard of him, Names float around in the
I
music
think
scene.
so. I've seen
right?
it. I've seen it. I'm pretty
You
sure
for
they
sure
hit the
know.
conservatory at some point.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 venues right there. And we're not done yet.
No.
We're not done
We
yet.
got more.
What would be the final venue?
Mm.
Do you know? What did we forget? Remember, it's Rock the Hops.
Oh, gotta be Old Bakery. Yeah.
You got it.
Naturally.
Tough one, huh? We got chocolate happening.
At Old Bakery.
Chocolate.
We do. It's Riley Hershey.
Oh, yeah.
Riley Hershey and the Chocolatiers.
That's right.
That's
No.
Familiar, huh?
Yeah,
I played
yeah.
a show a couple months ago with him.
Yeah, great guy. Solid set.
Up at the Heavy Anchor
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay. What can we expect?
He's a singer-songwriter
Yeah.
and has a band behind him, and it's kind of very like indie rock pop in a way. It has maybe a more jangly vibe in a sense.
Jangly's a good word.
Django Reinhardt?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you might get some Django picking,
Jangly,
or maybe like Beatlesy, poppy,
Yeah,
in that kind of way. Like
Yeah, that 60s pop influenced
Yeah, maybe.
indie rock, I guess.
With
we could
Django-
also be.
with Django on guitar? Because I'm down with some Django Reinhardt.
I'm down Django
You could ask
all
him.
day.
We'll see.
We'll see if you can do a
Yeah.
Django song. That'd be impressive.
That would be impressive. Hey, here's a band you might have heard of. You guys have been around for a while, so the Trophy Mules,
Yeah.
315. They're
Yeah.
going to be our guest next week.
Nice. My dad spent a chunk of time playing in the Trophy Mules. Those are all
Yeah.
great guys.
Yeah.
Corey's a fantastic songwriter.
So he's not in the Trophy Mules anymore.
I don't
He
believe so. It seems like
substitute
they,
every now and again.
yeah, maybe here and there. I think
Yeah.
they've gone through a little maybe transitional period of, trimming up the band into more songwriter focused stuff. I've seen them kind of go through a few different phases of this different iteration of the band, this and that, depending on what kind of songwriting I think Corey's really doing at a given time.
Okay.
But yeah,
I wasn't sure because,
No,
like I
they're solid.
said, he was in there for a while, and
I think they hadn't booked gigs in a while. I think it maybe thinned out, and maybe they just moved into a different
somebody's
band dynamic. we'll say.
somebody's father kept him busy. Your father busy, possibly.
I sure did keep him busy.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one. Zach Sullen Trupp. No?
I don't know that-
Zach Sullen
no.
Trupp. 4:30, and then Joe Hicks Ensemble. 5:45. That might be jazz. It's an ensemble.
ensemble.
Yeah.
Are rock bands adopting the ensemble? I mean,
I imagine seldom.
and then finally Boxcar.
Boxcar, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know that I know the band, but cool band name.
there you go. That's your lineup. That's every band that's scheduled to play Rock the Hops.
Very cool.
August 9th. We're talking to the band Olive, who's scheduled to play at Chesh Melody,
Oh.
6 o'clock,
Oh,
right
yes.
down there where they have the night market.
Yeah.
What do you think of that new location for the night market? You like it down there between the buildings?
It's nice down there. I really admire the spot that they had. I feel like that was
Pocket Park?
that little
The hill.
next to kind of
Yeah.
Germania to Jacoby space there. It's definitely cool down with
Yeah.
the space they've got.
Nice and flat.
It is, yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I'm with you, man. The Pocket Park had that, like, amphitheater,
Yeah.
miniature amphitheater.
Yeah,
vibe.
maybe it was like the walls on either
Yeah.
side. I say is that there's not walls on either side of the other, but between that and the incline, I think it really kind of made a stage out of itself at the other location.
Well, got to move on sometimes and try different things.
Keep on keeping on.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's try something different from you guys. Brand new. How about that?
Yeah.
Want to listen to one of your songs you recorded? What can you tell me about this song called, was it Another Friend?
Yeah.
With this weird alien picture?
Yeah, this track, we dropped it back on July 10th, and that weird alien creature's portrait my buddy from St. Louis, Noah, did. I was like trying to find cover art for this track because we didn't have anything really, and I saw this old sketch of these like evil looking demon drawings he did, and I was like, that's perfect. It looks like he's waving at you, another friend. Just
He seems friendly.
totally works for me.
As friendly as he can be. While still being a John Carpenter creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. One eye's like real high on one side of his head, and then the other, it's like he
a little
doesn't have
lopsided.
like a real symmetrical head.
No. Well, and he
Like-
looks kind of split.
And large shoulders with skinny arms.
Yeah.
Is that alien?
It could
I
be.
don't know. It could be.
I see it as more of like
Demonic.
some like demonic creature.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks happy though.
Or
Yeah.
that even.
Got a little reptilian in him.
Little reptilian.
Little
What do you think?
reptilian.
Think so?
Yeah.
A new track, Little Reptilian.
You see all the wrinkles? Like, it's gotta be reptile skin.
So, is this another friend, this guy?
It could
He's,
be.
he's the other friend if you'd like him to be.
He could be another friend, yes.
Okay.
It could be another friend of ours or yours or...
Yeah.
Tell me about this song, Another Friend. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, what are we talking about here, Owen?
Well, I actually wrote this track, like, almost over a year ago now. January of last year. Just, like, fiddling around. And at the time, I don't think I had tried to make anything, like, poppy chorus like another friend, or I wasn't really trying to be clever or anything. I just thought that would be funny if that's how the track sounded, and we started playing it as a band and wrote more about it as we started collaborating and finally recorded it in the studio. But I guess I'm kind of sidetracking on what it's actually about. I guess it's just like, I don't know, as time moves on, you just make more friends out of people, and it could mean a whole lot of different things, like just generally making friends or making stronger relationships, go back into friends. It's just the whole gamut.
Well, I think that ends up being like a double-edged sword thing too, you know. If on one side it's about the fact that you continually meet new people and make new friends as you go on, some people end up, you know, not being friends anymore, but people get backburnered, and you know, they end up being old friends who you haven't kept up with for a while, and I think that's significant in
People
some
get
way
busy.
too. Right.
How about the bass part? I mean, what do you remember about putting it together?
I remember we had this little get together where I believe Cole, our lead guitarist, was busy, and me, you, and Ian, our drummer, met in the roastery room of Mavis Coffee there at the Milton Schoolhouse.
Perfect place. Ian's always there.
Yeah, right. He lives there, works there, day in, day out. And he, well, we sat around and you pitched us the song. We kind of had like an acoustic session where I think Ian just had like brushes and like a plastic bucket as a drum on his lap. And, you know, odds and ends he could put together a little, there's like a little metal bowl. And, but yeah, you recorded a loose demo for the riff, and I think we kind of hashed it out from there. The rhythm felt pretty innate, so the bass line kind of wrote itself, but it was fun.
Yeah, and so then you like played it live for a while to kind of age it nicely, right?
I guess we just thought it was fun. We were like, man, this song sounds fun. Let's just
fun
play it.
across the board. It just stayed fun.
And because you played it live, you decided to track it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, we tracked it live, and that was
Back at Lighthouse Sounds down the street here
Yeah.
in February.
Who'd you work with?
Mr. Saint Sin himself
Oh,
Alex.
man.
Great guy.
had him
veteran.
engineer the session.
For sure.
But yeah, the idea behind getting the live recording, like most of the music that I've released under Olive has just been me on all the parts, like overdubbing, singer-songwriter style stuff.
Right.
So once I realized, like, well, we've been doing this unreleased track as a band for months now, why don't we just go in the studio and portray it how we do it live and make it sound as good as we can?
So you planning to release more singles, put an EP together? What's the long-term goal here?
Yeah.
I think we're looking at some more singles coming down the pipe before the end of the year.
Yep.
And then, I'm not going to put a date on anything,
Yeah.
but there is a bigger release in the future, likely sometime next year. But,
Like bigger than Robert Wadlow?
like, probably not, probably like a 12 by 12 inch, like,
If it
something
were
like
like
that.
hypothetically be pressed onto
Right,
vinyl
on the
or
vinyl,
something.
like, something like that.
Because we'd have to have super fun rocket ship show up and jump over it.
Well,
Right.
naturally,
Well, they
if it
could
was
definitely
Robert
jump
Wadlow
over
says,
an LP.
by an LP, yeah.
Yeah.
They could get a foot off the ground, I hope.
Well, let's stop talking and rock this thing. What do
Yeah.
you think? This is Another Friend by Olive, brand new. We can call it brand new. It's 12 months old, right?
Well, it's still July, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Within
It's a
the
few
month,
weeks
to
old.
the day.
Wait a minute. Yep, till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Another Friend.
I can't do this anymore. Too many strangers at my door. I won't rise to meet you in the eye. Walk on by, pass me by. I can't keep beating the floor. I'm just as hopeless time. 1, 2, 3, go! Gonna fly through just one more day, or die trying either way. I can't help but feel there's something wrong, but I find peace after all. I can't keep beating the floor. I'm just as hopeless as before. Another friend I've made again, but I won't cry about it. Safer to pretend I did it all for you, girl. I tried my best to just brighten your day for some time.
Something's funny happening right there. I don't know exactly what that is, but you guys are laughing at the end. That's Olive.
We're laughing.
That's
making us
another
with a friend.
friend. You
Such
got-
a good time.
yeah. Different sound, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Little raunchier, I want
Yeah.
to say, slightly.
Yeah, I'd say that's
I could agree.
closer to the band sound than some of the other.
That's what we were
Studio
trying to
back
kind of get at
stuff.
with this recording is I think a lot of those albums have like a very distinct sound within themselves just because of like how I recorded them at the time. But the live shows have taken on kind of a different sound, like from the recordings, and this is what's become of that.
Yeah, totally agree. Because, you're approaching it originally as just you,
Hmm.
and then they're learning what you're doing,
Right.
and then you're jamming
Yeah.
after that.
We
That
all
changes everything.
we all end up on the same page.
That's why a lot of
Gotta use
bands back in the day, when you actually anticipated a release, what they would do is they'd start playing the songs they were writing for their new release while they were on tour.
Right. That's what this felt like.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they were, different by the time they went in and recorded them, because you learn playing live that everything's going to change
Right.
for a lot of different reasons. Mainly just repetition.
Sure.
Like the more you play it, the more you get comfortable with it, the more you change it just slightly,
Yeah.
or
You can
those
hear how
type of
things could work slightly differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just accidentally do something and go, "Wow, that worked good. I'm gonna keep that one."
Absolutely.
That's kind of how it felt with this. Not to say that we didn't like work hard at it,
Like, yeah.
but yeah,
Sometimes a song feels like you've really molded it into something, and sometimes it feels like you've
it's
really
just
hit
like
the nail on the
flowed
head.
right out of you.
Yeah,
That's
kind of
it.
lightning in a bottle, I guess.
So shout out to Alex St. Sin.
Yeah,
That sounded good.
Fantastic producer.
great job engineering it.
Absolutely.
I took the controls for the mixing on, as per usual, for the Olive, but he did a very amazing job
He did.
and helped me along the way
Yeah,
for the
totally.
mix.
You learned a little bit,
Knowledgeable.
did you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure. He's got a lot of knowledge, and Lighthouse Sounds right here in Alton. So cool that you guys did that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give a shout out to some of the things happening here around the river bend.
Yeah.
If you guys want to chime in, feel free. But I'm going to kind of move through it so we can get back to you guys. But, there's a band playing down at Flock with a very interesting name on Friday.
Oh.
The Donner Party String Band.
Dig that.
Yeah, you guys, you know what the Donner Party is, right?
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
You don't?
I don't
know
know.
one?
No,
Okay, well,
not.
so they were gold miners, right? Or they
Ah.
were heading west,
Mhm.
right? And they got trapped in the
Manifest
mountains. They got trapped in the mountains, and they had to survive.
hmm
Gets kind of gory from here.
Yeah,
So apparently they played fiddle a lot, and you know,
I had a former string band. And they kept warm by playing strings, and they lived happily ever after, and everybody made it off the mountain safely. That's what happened to the Donner Party.
Well, thanks. I won't read about it now.
no,
Yeah.
you should because
No, I
it's
will.
not exactly that.
That's the barbecue recipes from the.
Yeah, yeah. So they had to find things to eat. Let's just put it that way.
No. They put their foot
Do
in
what
the
you
mouth.
can.
So that ought to be interesting. Great name.
Yeah,
Great name.
now that I understand.
At the Flock from 6 to 9. And we got Anthony and Andy and Exit 52 at Fast Eddie's. We got dueling pianos out at Baker's and Hale. Ryan Holting at Locke's Brick House on Friday. We got Scott and Carl at the Loading Dock. Spanky Fest with Outlaw Opry at the Grafton Pub from 7 to 11. And Bob Gleason at the Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton. Jonathan Baker at Aries. From 3 to 7 in Grafton. And Money Shot at Third Shoot from 7 to 11. You spent a lot of time up in Grafton, haven't you? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of my stomping ground.
It is your stomping ground. One of the most resilient places in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's that one year where they had the lockdown followed by a flood
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and came back.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Never say die.
Right.
Shout out to Grafton. We got Party at the Beach happening down in Pontoon Beach on
Okay.
Friday night. You know
Oh,
who's
nice.
playing? Deb and Allman Project.
Cool.
Familiar with Deb and Allman? He's got famous parents too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
What? You guys don't have famous parents?
I don't know about
I don't know.
famous.
Right.
Infamous, maybe.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
There you go. That's perfect.
That's fine.
So they're playing with a tribute band, Clapton Chronicles, and another tribute band, Chain Lightning. That's 38 Special, in case you're wondering.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then we got the Real Country Decades of Hits tribute, Vicki Rowlands and Tim Campbell, happening at the Mill in Granite City on Friday. And you know that Rowlands name, that's Beowulf. They've been around here a long time.
Well,
So there you go. What else is happening? Well, let's see. You ever hear Michael Winslow?
oh, yeah.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
Big.
Police Academy.
Police Academy. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The guy that makes all the weird sounds.
Spaceballs,
Yeah,
the
I know who you're
sweeps,
talking
the
about.
loops, and the creeps.
He's in town. Can you imagine
Really?
him like showing
Really?
up at Rock the Hops for your
Yeah.
show or
Yeah.
something?
That'd be
All of a sudden you
fantastic.
start hearing these sound effects, and
We put him on the mic. That'd be awesome.
he might hear about it. Show up.
We got some fun effects for him.
His show's at 7:30, so I mean he can catch it.
Tomorrow?
There you go.
I don't know if he's got a shuttle ticket. I don't know if the shuttle take him to the Wild E, but if he's on tour, he's probably got a bus or something. I don't know. So that's what's happening Friday night. There's other stuff going on. Got a band from Denver, Colorado coming to the Platypus. You guys have played the Platypus, right?
Yeah.
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 Great venue.
I think Pigpen said you can't say that the last time
Yeah.
you brought that up. But
Yeah.
yeah, so they're playing with Impressions. Relate from Denver, Colorado with I Like Snaps,
Yeah.
Nice.
Impressions, and Ryan Cheney with the Platypus. Is that a cool place?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Real cool cocktail bar over in the city.
And then they got this like door that slides open to a little venue space. It's in like the window from the street. It's pretty cool.
And on Saturday, we got a festival,
Mm.
Trinity
Mhm.
River Festival.
I
The
was
old
just
middle
up at
school.
Milton.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking to Ian.
Talking to Mr. Psycho.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
From Trinity
Chrysanthemum.
River. I
Yeah.
gotcha. So we've been over this lineup, but it's a good one. So we're gonna do it again. Sawyer Conkle on the Warehouse stage at noon. Kevin Hartman at 1:30. Hallelujah Lily at 3. Trophy Mules 4:30. See the shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Justice and the Experience.
Nice.
6 o'clock. This is all on the Warehouse stage, and then Psychedelic Symphony 7:30.
Great guys.
Sometimes it's foggy, and sometimes it's clear. I say on because it's Sophosic. See, so I don't want to mess that up. Accidentally on purpose. Purpose.
Oh, there it goes.
10:30. I got new stuff out too. I guess it's not so new anymore, but
You know.
new enough. And then they got a second stage with Neon Gypsies, 12:30. Peace Lords, 2 o'clock. Cricket and the Grilled Avocados at 5 o'clock. Melodrama 6:30, and The Hideous Gentleman at 8. Modern Pasta at 9:30. And our guest Datura, we had them on a couple weeks ago. 11 o'clock. Have you checked out Datura?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard anything of theirs, but I could be wrong on that.
We'll
They
call
ring a
it-
bell somewhere.
We'll call it psychedelic.
Okay.
We'll call it that. Datura is actually a plant.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know what Datura is?
Well, I believe it's a somewhat of a psychedelic.
Yeah, it is. It is. Moonflower
Yeah.
is another word for it.
Yeah.
La Wemsai, if you follow Carlos Castaneda, which are great books, at least the first couple.
Sure.
It's about a shaman. Guy goes down there, Castaneda, to learn of shamanism
Mm-hmm.
and kind of teaches that in the book. So
Add that to my reading list.
there you go. That's happening on Saturday.
Sure.
The Trinity River Festival. I'm kind of gazing through the rest of Saturday here to see if I can find something really cool to mention, and yeah, they're all cool, but I think that wraps up the fun stuff, right? So let's get back to talking with Olive. You can check out all the information of where people are playing and keep up with that at our website, cottonmouth.org. If you're a band that's looking for gigs, that's a great place to go because it's just one list. You just go down it and go, oh, we might fit in there. You know what's happening? The Dorchester Homecoming. You know where Dorchester is?
Yeah.
You do?
Loosely.
Loosely.
I mean, I couldn't give you the coordinates, but I'm aware of it.
It's kind of out in the middle of a field. So,
Yeah.
I mean, literally on your way to Benelt, which, you know, a lot of gangsters from that area back in the day. Like the real gangsters, you know, the
Old time.
Prohibition days. And
Bootleggers.
I
so
didn't know
the
that.
story goes that they would hide their stills in some of the old coal mines up there during Prohibition, and then drive it up to Chicago, where they made their money. And some people got shot along the way. I'm sure you've heard about it. Yeah, so Dorchester Homecoming this weekend. Where are you guys playing? August 9th?
Shane Maryland.
That's right.
At Rock the Hops.
Anything else
those
coming
hops.
up in the near future for Olive as far as gigs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We recently booked our first out of town gig.
Ooh.
We're playing up at Peoria at Kenny's West Side Pub on September 5th.
Richard Pryor used to go there.
Yeah, so I hear. We're playing with Totally Cashed
Great
and
band.
High Meadows.
Wow.
I don't know High Meadows, but
They're local to Peoria.
yeah. They're
So is Totally
people put
Cash
together.
local?
They're
That
from
sounds-
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of
That kind of sounds familiar.
punky, proggy, jazzy sometimes, but I'd say punky at the forefront. I had a friend from high school who ran a little house venue here in town for a while.
Okay,
and,
which one?
I don't know if...
Metal Gear?
No.
I know.
Truthfully, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of this particular
We're
one.
talking
on
about
here.
the G Spot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we've talked about
Yeah,
that.
no, we've talked about it here and there, but a buddy of mine from high school ran that spot. And
So
it
that's
was,
no longer then.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, he's moved on to other things, but great spot.
Most
Some
people
really cool
go
shows.
from, having house venues to Broadway.
Yeah,
They open up places like Lighthouse Sounds and
Sure.
the Conservatory.
true. No, so we'll see what's in the long run. I think right now is maybe just slinging food out at the pump house. But if he came back to throwing shows, I'd absolutely
We'd be there.
put Olive on the
Yeah.
bill for
When are you
anything
in?
shows that.
When are you in Peoria?
Kenny's
September-
West Side Pub on September 5th, I believe.
5th. My bad.
So you're not playing till then after Rock the Hop? Take a month off?
I guess. we can.
I was gonna say, it's not announced yet, but
Okay.
keep your eyes peeled for another date in later August.
Okay.
It'll be out in St. Louis.
St. Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Like to play over there, Heavy Anchors, where you guys play, Platypus, where else? CBGBs,
Sinkhole,
Sinkhole we played.
right? I've heard it's
various basements.
nicknamed the Stink
Marshmallow.
Hole.
We
Just saying.
played one.
Marshmallow.
Stink
Hole.
Yeah,
That's a fun one,
been
yeah.
seeing that one. Yeah. All mainly original venues you guys are talking about there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely. So is St. Louis catching on as a scene, you think?
We're hoping.
Yeah,
I mean,
fingers
there's
crossed.
definitely already a scene.
Yeah, it seems like there's always kind of,
And
like running water, there's always some level of a scene going on in St. Louis. It just, sometimes the water rises, sometimes it sinks. But
we just need to string everybody together.
exactly.
It's there. It just needs to be pieced together.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because back in our day, if we had more than one place to play, that was amazing.
Yeah, I guess that's
So, I mean, you guys just listed what?
4 or 5 little
Yeah.
spots off the
And,
cuff.
and Heavy Anchor's been around for a minute.
It
St.
has.
Paul's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
CBGB's is a little bit newer,
Sure. Marshmallow's real new.
right? Have you heard of, this is on our side of the river, Club 110 down in
Yeah.
Yeah,
Belleville?
yeah, down in Belleville.
We hit a
there
series
you go.
of gigs
Yeah.
back at that place in
Yeah.
January.
Is that an actual club or a house place?
It's like-
funny enough, it's neither.
Oh, okay.
A music school.
That's
like
right.
a-
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think
It's
by
like right
evening they're
downtown.
allowed to like, hey, you can use this space and put on shows, kind of thing, which
Okay.
is very cool.
There's like a big back room that they have a stage in.
Yep.
It's pretty nice room.
Okay.
Yeah, great space.
That was newer to me, so that's why I asked.
Seen some cool bands in that room.
Yeah, I've seen some cool lineups.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of shows, it doesn't seem like, but occasional.
I'd say
Wow.
at least once a month.
Yeah,
Okay.
here and there.
Maybe they just don't post it on stuff I look at.
I think they're another Instagram.
Instagram.
I'm kicked
Instagram's
off.
away.
Locked out.
I know, man.
What a shame.
Give a shout out to the Doorknob out in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, Doorknob. Great
They're
space
a-
there.
Like
Little
an
house
independent
venue
house
kind of
venue.
Okay.
We played a show in their back lot.
Yeah.
Normally they hold shows in their basement, but it was like a good enough night. They've
Beautiful
been
night.
holding them in the back lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah, yeah. Great space. Good turnout. All kinds of cool people.
That's awesome, man.
Right
It's
there.
awesome to see that much original music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Places for you guys to play.
Mhm.
Because, like I'm telling you, man, back in the day, we'd have to rent halls. And
Sure.
by the time you
VFW.
rent it and pay for sound and everything, you're losing money big
Yeah.
I
time.
bet.
And so, you guys make any money playing originals?
Here and
these
there.
days?
Touch and go. You
Here
know,
and there.
depends on the
Or
gig for
gas
sure.
money? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Most we at least cover
Usually
gas
at least gas, yeah.
money. Yeah,
That's cool.
But I mean, it's not always about the money.
Returns, yeah.
Right, right.
We're really just
About
trying
the
to play.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just bringing it up because, there was no money to be made back in the day. So, I mean,
Sure.
we're looking for improvement here.
Yeah.
We're
I mean, I'd say it's definitely
doggy paddle.
improved.
Oh yeah.
There's been some gigs that are more of a
Decent.
payout than other,
Yeah.
but it's all right.
Yeah. No, I think.
I mean, if it was so bad, it probably wouldn't be a band.
Right.
Somebody'd be like,
Hey,
I haven't got my paycheck.
yeah, we keep a decent band fun going.
Yeah.
we're glad someone's doing it. Supporting original music. And like I said, if there's money involved, just a little, that's great.
Honestly, I
mean,
think
seriously.
our best source of income is directly from fans. Like,
Yeah,
if you're trying to
totally.
actually go out and support a local artist, go out and see if they have any physical media of like CDs, tapes,
T-shirts,
stickers, anything
You know, any of
that
those things
really
are
supports the local
definitely
artists.
The best way to support a given band is
Because you
Throw
know
people
those
straight
streaming
away.
platforms are not paying enough
Exactly.
at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're paying the AI guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
or
I'm just-
donating to evil corporations.
There you go. Yeah. But so you guys got a bunch of merch.
We're working on a bigger spread here.
Yeah, we are.
We've had a consistent lineup of CDs and tees, but in the coming few months, we're hoping to vamp it up.
For sure.
I've always
design.
heard that it's a
Happy.
good idea to bring the host of a radio show that has you on a T-shirt.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He
What size you wearing?
he would wear them around like this Justice in the Experience
What
shirt that
size?
I'm wearing, and he'd mention, Justice in the Experience is playing
Yeah.
this weekend,
Well, there you go.
and not just one gig but two, because I didn't mention they're playing in Edwardsville
Nice.
at Sam's Last Chance Saloon,
Very
3 to
cool.
6. It could be just Justice because
That could
sometimes
be. It
people
could be
sit
an
in.
experience.
Could be. It's always an experience with them, So there you go. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for having us.
Has you guys ever gotten your music played on the radio before today?
I suppose.
I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brand new
For
single.
us.
First for everything.
Look for stickers of this guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna make some stickers up of the another friend guy. Has he got a name? I mean,
I think he does have a name. I just
Iron
can't
Maiden
remember.
called
the
their
name.
guy
Oh, yeah.
Eddie. So I mean,
Eddie.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
The guy on all the Iron
Yeah,
Maiden,
Maiden
stuff.
albums. Totally.
So maybe that could be
What's
your
that?
guy.
Megadeth,
people be
Megadeth
like-
guy's name too, and I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
got
right.
kind of like the bolted on,
Right.
goggly shape. I just can't place it. Eddie's just too cool of a mascot that it blows to get the guy away.
Exactly, and then it's like, well, we're just taking that from Iron Maiden.
Right.
No, there is a name, but
We
I'd have to
probably-
ask my buddy Noah Garland because he drew it.
When you make another friend and you already forget their name.
Right.
I'm gonna call
Such a
him
shame.
Noah. I'm gonna call him
Call him
Noah.
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 Call
Another
him
friend
Noah.
of Owen's.
Yeah.
Noah.
Noah. Shout out.
So, are you going to have like a different image for the next single then? Is that kind of the idea?
It's in the air. We're. I think the new single is not like what you've heard in the most recent one.
Yeah.
So we're
I
trying
think
to
it's a
see
little different too.
if we want to go the same route or not.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Mix
I
it up.
like that. I don't want to hear the same. I don't want to hear
More of the
AC/DC
same.
play another song like that last song.
Oh,
Well,
That's been done.
don't listen to a
they're in
second
for an
AC/DC
experience.
song.
Right. Sorry to disappoint.
Right. You guys are drummers. I mean, you listen to AC/DC.
Sometimes.
Kind of the same drum part
Yeah.
most of the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They invented the rock beat.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to pick on AC/DC.
No, we love some Acadicka.
Nobody can rock as hard as Angus. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
Bob
Who's
Scott could wail.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's Olive, folks. Check them out August 9th at Shea, Maryland, 6 o'clock, part of Rock the Hops. I want you to zero in on Shea, Maryland, 6 o'clock.
We'll be there.
On
We'll
there.
hope you're there too.
Be there and be square.
Be there before they head off on tour to Peoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September 5th.
First road gig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited.
For sure, gig.
Other than
Sounds
barns
good.
in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Well, appreciate you guys coming in and get out there and check out Another Friend on all your streaming platforms.
Mhm.
Although you did just check it out live here on the radio.
Naturally.
Maybe you'll hear it on the radio again
It's
sometime
worth
soon.
a second listen for
I guess
sure. I'm sure you missed a few things
Probably.
while grooving that tune.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I want to thank Halpin Music Company, as always, for making this happen. 2026 will be 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. You guys were like 10 years old when the show started. You're just like meeting each other.
I was
Yeah.
13.
I was 15.
Okay.
So,
Maybe not 10.
but so close.
Yeah, I mean,
So
pretty
close.
close.
Yeah.
It
know.
wasn't that much before you guys met.
No,
I know,
absolutely.
just a couple years.
Yeah.
Few years.
So,
Been years since you were
and
young.
we were talking to your fathers on here.
Mm-hmm. I've seen those old interviews.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I heard that.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I've seen those classic interviews.
Those classic interviews.
So yeah, we couldn't have done it without Halpin Music Company.
Mm-hmm.
They've been with us almost the whole time. And then Matt Van Voorhis jumped in about a year later, and he's in the Stubblefield Band. You might have heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
And plays with Matt Tall quite a bit. He
Yeah.
plays up there in Grafton quite a bit. Anyhow, so we appreciate Matt Van Voorhis, Macias Insurance. If you're a musician, Macias Insurance and Matt Van Voorhis. Why? Because they support local music. Just like this show, Riverbend Talent. Now we got to ask everybody to get out there and do some homework. You know what the homework is? Get out and support local music and art.